Join us right now with a look at the C-suite and managing around uncertainty. AlixPartners Executive Chairman Simon Freakley. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Andrew.
Okay, so if you're going into this meeting, what are you telling the president, and do you think the president's going to listen?
Well, AI, of course, is still a massive opportunity, but also a threat. And so I absolutely have to understand that on that agenda is going to be, how do we make sure that the US continues to be the driver of AI for business? But they also have to be talking about tariffs, clearly. They have to be talking about what the impact of this whipsawing of tariff policy is going to be. I suspect it's going to be a lively meeting.
And where do you think, I mean, we've heard what the president said just even over the weekend, where he said, look, I'm not looking at the stock market, which obviously is a reversal in terms of how he thought about it during the first term. How long do you think that persists, and how politically palatable is that?
Well, the trouble for CEOs, Andrew, is they simply can't pivot at the speed at which policy is being announced. They wake up every morning, there's a different position on tariffs, so they just don't know what they're planning for. And of course, if you're an industrial CEO and you're having to plan industrial production, certainly if you're coming under increasing pressure, which they are, to bring production onshore, these are hundreds of $million, billion-dollar decisions over multi-year periods.
But if everybody's playing chicken with each other on the tariffs, right? There's a massive game of chicken with multiple chickens playing chicken with each other.
Right.
At what point, if you're a U.S. CEO, and at what point do you advise the U.S. CEO, say, you know what, these tariffs are here for real, they're not going anywhere, it's actually worth you spending potentially billions of dollars to actually bring your manufacturing back to the U.S., or do you say, we don't really know what's going to happen with tariffs, so actually put your hands down, you can sit on them for a little bit, because you've got to figure out what's going to happen first.
So look, I think everybody knows the destination. It's clear tariffs will go up. It's a pressure to bring production on.
But do you think that the tariffs will go up forever? Do you think it's for a year? Do you think it's for 2 years? Do you think it's for the next 10 years? If it's for the next 10 years, you make the investment here. If you think it's not, you may say, I'm going to wait to find out.
Well, as Chairman Powell said last week in different contexts, trying to distill the signal from the noise is hard. I think what every CEO that I speak to, our clients, they are planning for tariffs being here for the foreseeable future. It's very difficult to actually form a budget for the year, let alone a plan for 5 years. But they understand they're going to have to bring production.
Why is General Motors not moving all of its car manufacturing back to the U.S. then?
Because it's very difficult, Andrew. I mean, these are plants that take years to build. They're billions of dollars of investment. Now, if you're a grocer, if you're Walmart or Kroger, of course you can look immediately at whether you can second source from the U.S. Not straightforward, but possible. If you're GM or Ford...
Well, that's what I'm saying. All the hard choices.
They're hard choices, but of course these things can't be done swiftly. There's no quick solution to this. So how, for instance, one of the things we do with our clients is set up tariff war rooms. We have dozens of them going on at the moment. People understand how they can do tariff engineering, which means how do they look at different countries with different tariff likely outcomes to minimize the impact of tariff. How do they actually look at their
What's the best end run at the moment? Dare I say? The best end run, if you're sitting in this tariff war room and you're saying the smartest way to get the goods and to avoid the tariffs is to do what?
Well, what you do
moving goods through where?
It's not as simple as that. What you do is you look at every single component as not just how you source your product, how you construct your product. Can you bring product into the US that's partially engineered so you don't end up causing tariff cost on indirect cost? How do you rethink the production using different parts? All of these elements add up to tariff savings. But one thing, Andrew, and this is the key point, one thing is for sure, costs are going up. They will be borne by the customer. They won't be eaten in the margin. And so for the customer, whether it's a washing machine or a pickup truck, costs are going up.
So it's a tax on the American people?
Exactly. Now, Whirlpool, for instance, is a great example. Whirlpool in 2018, when the tariffs on China were upped, they decided to bring 90% of their production onshore. The component cost of a Whirlpool washing machine went up between 10 and 50%. So on average, excuse me, added $90 to every Whirlpool machine. That went to the customer. We're going to see this across the entire range of product. In grocers, the prices will go up, the portion sizes will go down, and ultimately it will hit the wallet of the US voter.
You expecting a recession then?
Difficult to tell. I think that is the key question. We don't know, of course, but if inflation stays high, if unemployment starts to rise, it's a possibility.
Okay. Simon, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.